Greetings.
What is up? What is up, everybody? Turtle Soup Nation.
Yeah, man, on a Saturday. That's what is up. Hey, everybody.
We got Noah in the chat. Soup's back on the menu tonight, boys and girls. You got Eric in here, like, yes, indeed, because, yeah, we got messed up on Thursday.
We did. Apologies.
Let's see. Noah, man, you're in isolation with the cover. Bro, Are you all right? Are you good? Like, jeez, man.
Yeah, that COVID is horrible from what I hear.
No, that COVID. Man, yeah, I do feel bad because I saw your comments. And you're just like,
Yeah.
Like, man, I was like, that's rough. Jake's in the chat. Let's do it. Spade Want Me Dysentery likes turtles. Everybody does.
Yes.
And then Jake saying I had to let my wife know we had to hurry up our errands this afternoon because it's weekend soup night. That's fantastic.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that. Like, I'll tell my wife things like that are super nerdy, and I'm like, and she's cool as hell, but like, I'm still like, hey, so like, there's a Pokemon event tomorrow. I'm gonna be in the graveyard for a while. Just letting you know. Not that she has a problem with that, because that's normally where she's at. But nevertheless, it's one of those things where I'm like, especially when San Diego, all the San Diego news comes out for toys. I'm like in bed, and I'm like, all right, hey, you're going to have to hear me talk about this because I'm real excited for a second. And so, yeah, that makes me feel good to know I'm not the only one. Noah says he's doing good now. 3 days down, but coming back strong now. Well, that's good, Noah.
Good. Feeling strong now. Won't be long now. Yeah. Man, whenever I watch Rocky, man, like that, like those songs get stuck in my head, bro.
I don't think I've ever seen a Rocky movie all the way through.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I try not to have that reaction, but
I love it. I love it. That's why I did it.
They're really good. They're really good. Like the first Rocky is genuinely like no jokes, like a really good film. Just damn good. And the second one's good. They just start getting a little more out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's kind of what I like about them, because from what I understand, he doesn't win in all of them, right? Oh, did Ryan die? Is Ryan froze? I think Ryan's gone. Unless he's doing that thing where he I think he's done. All right. That's creepy. I'm going to see if we can get him back. I don't know what happened to Ryan. He's going to try to get back, I think. So, let's see here. Let's see if we can do that. There we go. That's better than looking at his frozen face. So yeah, so right now it's storming in Florida again. Like, we've just got some rain. I don't know what they've got over there, and Ryan's part of the Florida. But yeah, oh man, his computer completely died, so he's hurrying back. But yeah, from my understanding, I never knew that. I always thought that Rocky would win everything, but apparently, like, there's movies where he doesn't. But that's like the point of the movie. And so I always appreciated that, but I never really watched them, I guess. Part of me feels like because they had some of that, like, leftover 70s kind of vibe from just that era. And I always have a hard time watching movies like that for some reason. There's been a few that clicked with me, like, what's that movie? It's Invasion. Is it Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where Kiefer Sutherland's dad is like at the end with his mouth open, like whatever that is. Father Preston showed me that, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. But I think the pacing of a lot of 70s movies just like really slowed down too much for me, and I'll just fall asleep. But yeah. In the chat, Ryan Ragland saying, bless our significant others for putting up with our nerdiness. Indeed. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, everyone confirming that we did lose Ryan. And Noah saying that Rocky got Ryan by the tongue. Jake's asking, what about the Warriors? Yes, I did check that out. And I did like that a lot. I think Father Preston and I watched that as well. Yeah, so Ryan's updating his computer, apparently. He's not sure what's going on. He's texting me now. But one way or the other, we'll get something going. If he can't come back for whatever reason, we'll do this for a little bit longer, and then we might run through the news. Like, I might just shoot the news segment, and then we'll have to call it a night, unfortunately, due to tech issues. But yeah, no, I loved the Warriors. I thought the Warriors was great, and just because it it literally was moving the entire movie. Like there wasn't a lot of exposition and dialogue, like just steady, just shots of just people talking and long shots, I guess. And it just felt like there was an energy there as by design for that movie. So I did enjoy that movie. And there's been a few others. I think I liked Westworld, the original Westworld, but it was kind of waning on me. And I can't think of really any other 70s movies, but the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that one got me because I think at the time too, one of my a band that I like a lot, Isley, they had a couple of songs, if not just one, called Invasion, and it was about that movie. And Father Preston and I were big into them, and still are. But at the time, I think that song had just come out or whatever when we watched that movie, and it just kind of resonated a little bit more, and it was really neat. So, but yeah, Ryan Ragland's wondering if maybe Domestic Danny is up to some sabotage. Man, that'd be nuts because we haven't heard from Danny or Mr. Bucket in a minute. So that could be the case. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, we got that sneaking suspicion that it's been long enough that Danny is probably going to be making a return in some form or fashion because it's been too long. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Jake's asking how was Coheed and Alkaline? He was going to double check on that. But, yeah, I'm going to bring that up but on the show proper, but it was really good, just to say that. They were both great. This was the first time we saw. I've gone to the amphitheater to see them. We have an outside amphitheater that's kind of an eyesore from the interstate here in Florida in Tampa, and but it's where we'll have like a festival there and stuff. So I've been there for that and like our state fair or whatever, but I've never been there for an actual concert. And yeah, so we went, and it was good, except the sound was just Alkaline Trio wasn't meant to be playing in that type of venue, but Coheed definitely was because they're just geared that way and they're set up that way. Alkaline Trio's a much better band to watch like in a dirty club, like just that's really kind of not super small but like indoors, and but nevertheless they were both really good, and so that was fun. So yeah. Ryan, right? Oh! I hear a voice. Let me see if I can bring him back. Let me connect the video channels again. And hold on one second. I gotta do all kinds of magic here on my end. Turn that off. There's that. All right. Let's see. Woo! We got Dad back. There he is.
Hi.
Man, we thought Rocky got you. Or Danny came and got you.
No,
with the,
I started to actually get excited about something, and there we go. So that works.
So
yeah, no, I don't know. I may just shut down and I'm done. But you were talking about something, so I won't interrupt.
Oh yeah, no. Did you get Pro Tools back up in recording?
I did.
Okay, excellent.
I did.
So yeah, we were talking about a bunch of stuff, but we can get back to Rocky real quick. So I was just saying that, yeah, I didn't know that I never really fully understood that he didn't win everything.
No.
That like I was thinking
he doesn't win
that's kind of the point, but then no, it's not. It's actually like how to lose, and like I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
So
super good.
Yeah.
Super good.
But yeah, he lives.
I do live, man.
So I don't want to bring this up on the show proper necessarily, but just to let everyone know, Farmer Greg, his dad passed away last week, and suddenly it was just in the night, and I think it was a heart attack, and so and you know Greg's a good sport, he's a good dude, and we all this stuff, but like we had his dad's memorial today, and so we went, and I noticed that his brother Adam, who's been on the show with Farmer Greg, he was up and he got up and spoke, and I was like, oh dang, Adam's getting up to speak. That's nuts. So because one thing I know about Adam is that he is extremely passionate and angry, and all those emotions he's just bundled up into one living being. Well, he gets up on stage, and I'm like, there's something about his tie that doesn't look right, and it's because he's got Florida Gators on it. So Ryan, apparently his dad's last wish, or at least like he told them forever, like growing up, that like when he died, Adam and Greg, who are both huge Florida State Seminole fans, had to wear Gator ties. And Adam even said that he did the chomp when his dad died. He did it in front, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't tell me that! Don't tell me crazy. That you did the chomp in front of and Shannon's looking at me like, "What's the chomp?" And it took me a second, and I was like, "Oh, he's talking about a gator." Oh,
yeah,
and it was it was
the rivalry.
Yeah, it was really rad. So I was like, "Oh, that's
crazy."
That was really cute. I was really glad they did that, and I was like, "Well, I told him afterwards. I was like, you have your dad to thank." For all this, I mean, I was probably already going to have all of you guys doing something weird at my memorial, but it's just getting getting things going in the percolator. But after the service, it was nuts. So a couple things. One, they had two. So this was like an old church. This is like super old church, old Methodist church, and my first punk band actually played our first show, where Father Preston came and watched me, and that's where we became friends, in the basement of that church, dude. It was nuts. So anyway, it was weird being there again because I hadn't been there in ages. But in the sanctuary.
In the basement.
And so in the sanctuary, they have stained glass windows all on the sides, and they had these two murals on flanking both exits behind to leave the sanctuary for the parishioners or whatever you want to call them. And so the left side had like baby Jesus not baby Jesus, maybe like toddler Jesus. I don't know. He was working, so I don't know when they started working in that area in that time, but he's there doing woodwork in the desert, which doesn't make sense because we think he's a stone worker. But anyway, and then on the other side had John the Baptist baptizing Jesus. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But they looked very detailed, like not just your normal, paint Jesus by the numbers kind of thing. This was like, these faces were like distinct. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, Shannon, look at those, because I'm going to ask somebody, one of Farmer Greg's close friends, about this when we get over there to the reception area. And so I'm like, okay, so there's that. So then we're walking out, we say hi to everybody, and we're going to get reception stuff or refreshments. And there's a curio cabinet, Ryan, and it catches my eye, corner of my eye. I see red and white on a bottle. And your boy knows what that is. Red and white on a bottle. That's Coca-Cola usually. That's that click. So I'm like, so let me look at that. The Methodists had their own Coca-Cola bottles, Ryan. I did not know this. I don't think Baptists got Coca-Cola bottles. I didn't know this. They had them in the curio cabinet behind the church, right? Like in the same building. Blew my brain.
Oh.
So it was super weird. I was not expecting to be like, oh, okay. And then seeing Coke bottles. Anyway, so we find my friend, Greg's friend that goes to the church a lot and stuff like that. So I'm asking her, I'm like, what's up with those paintings? Well, the Coke she just didn't know anything about. Nobody apparently was as impressed as I was with that. However, the paintings were done by the dude. I don't know if you remember, but in Plant City, where we live, they had a mural on the side of the building that was for the city, and it had all these like landmarks and people in the city. Well, one person got mad and burned that whole building down, and or at least almost. It's the building with Whistle Stop and everything, and Crazy Cup is there.
Okay, yeah.
And so they cleaned it up and they kind of turned it into a little parking area, park kind of thing. And they put a new mural up anyway. But I think the person who originally did the murals in that church, and they painted the people, Ryan, in the murals as people from the community. So John the Baptist looks like some dude from Plant City. And then Mary and Joseph, they look like people that have done something in Plant. I knew there was something strange about that. So I don't know if anyone else goes to like churches and stuff like that and knows things like that. But if that's a thing, I want to know, because like that's super weird to me.
How do you become JC? How do you get to be the first of many? You know what I mean? Like, how's that work?
Is there like a tithing like limit that like it's some structure, like you get all this stuff and then it's like a Patreon reward tier. If like you support the church enough, you get painted as Jesus.
Well, like I don't know if I mentioned this on the show before, but the building I work in was built by a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
And so and I work for this nonprofit, and fundraising is a big deal.
Yeah,
it is a big deal. Like we have I think you've heard about it on the show before. We have a dinner guest speaker dinner thing once a year where we like rake in all these donations to keep things going. We donate a bunch of places, keeps us running, all this different stuff. So it's a big deal. So all over the building, there's like sponsors' names, and it's not like there's a couple companies, but mainly it's like attorneys, because it's in the legal profession. So there's a lot of attorneys and families and people around Tampa. Well, dude, this thing it took me so long. It took me like almost like a year of like working there to notice this.
Yeah.
But everything has a name on it.
Oh, like, really?
I'm talking like, the office where me and Father President work, my boss's office, all of our conference rooms, all this stuff, the elevator.
Yeah.
It took me forever to notice that all the bathrooms are also named.
What?
Like
each stall?
Yes. No. But like on the outside of like the men and women's bathrooms, there's a set on each story. It's 2 stories, so there's men and women's top, men and women's on the first floor, and they're named. Like
that's
it's
amazing.
Like the whatever. I mean, I'm making this up. It's like the Tom and Suzanne Moeller.
Yeah, bathroom.
Like is what it says outside the bathroom, and I'm like,
what? That's wild. So I guess what they do is they get donations and they're like, we'll put your name somewhere in the building and
we'll name whatever. I'm sure they had every slot open, right?
Oh man,
I'm sure everything was open, and I guess they had to kind of prioritize them based on donations. So I don't know if the bathrooms were the lowest tier or like some of the smaller offices were the lowest tier. I don't know, but like it's really weird. And
that is really weird.
I just always thought about and there's something else that happened. So one time I let somebody in downstairs, like I can't remember what it was. I was downstairs, and this is during the pandemic, right? Not a lot of people were like in the building, and I'm over here, and I see this like attorney obviously like kind of outside, like kind of can't get in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The receptionist wasn't in, so I go open the door for him. Like, hey, what's going on? Oh man, and he looks at me. He goes. I tell you, I'll just be honest with you, man. I'm in here to take a leak. He's like, I'm a member of the bar. All this stuff like that. My name is blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, dude. He's like, I was driving, man, and like, I gotta take a leak. I go, all right, that's cool, man. Like, come on in. And then he walks through, and this is not the name of the people because I'm just gonna keep using it. Right. But he walks by, and he before he goes in the bathroom, he looks at the sign on the door. He goes, oh, Tom and Susan Mueller. Yeah, I know them. And he like walks in, and for some reason, I told that to Preston, and we were dying. almost like you have to know the people that have the bathroom named after them to use it. It's like a thing,
It's a rite of passage.
It's like, Thomas Susan, huh? Well, you know what Thomas Susan? When did Thomas Susan move to Tampa? Oh, yeah. How much money did they donate? Did they donate? Like you start like running that at them, but somehow, I know them. Yeah. And then just goes in there, uses the bathroom, comes out, goes, oh, thanks, man, thanks a ton, and leaves. I'm like, all right, cool. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Back with chat.
You can use the bathroom, man.
Back with chat. While you were gone, they were thinking that maybe Mr. Bucket or Domestic Danny got you.
Oh yeah.
So that's why they're talking.
I feel like Danny or Mr. Bucket or one of two is in this computer. It's like haunted lately.
How are your balls, Ryan? Did they get them?
I mean, balls are intact.
Balls are intact.
I definitely checked them after who put out the lights. To make sure that they didn't get away with one or more. You know what I mean?
You always
didn't get one or more of them.
That's step one when the power goes out here in Florida. Is it a Mr. Bucket attack?
Check them.
Right. Jake Niehaus, at one of my jobs, all of the office rooms were named after the Golden Girls. And then he said all of my meetings were inside Blanche. Goodness. That's I think Ryan Raglan says that I think Blanche was the one who always had something going on inside her.
Yeah.
According to that show. But I think and then she would approve of that statement. You're right, Noah. She definitely would. But yeah,
that's funny.
That's too funny. After the Golden Girls, goodness gracious. Yeah, man. So I'm trying to think. I've got a couple stories, and I don't know. I think I don't want to talk. I don't know. I want to talk about my concert going experience on the show, I think, but I had something else happen today that I want to get your take on too, but I don't want to take too long. So I think I'm going to...
We're already running kind of behind anyway.
But I want to run this by real quick so we won't... Oh, I don't know. It could... No, it's too serious, I think. So yeah. Well, it's not super serial. It's just a little... So I don't know if I've brought this up, but we have a new cat, Cheeto. And we've had him for a couple months. We found him in the yard, like he was running around, like coming up to us and stuff for a week or so. And he was like super thin, had some fleas, and was just always trying to get in the house. So after about a week, we gave him a collar with our phone number on it, and kept him outside, and never got a phone call, nothing. We didn't see any flyers, nothing on the word of mouth app or anything. And he finally, he keeps coming up and keeps trying to get in. And well, it's storming one night, just like crazy. And so we're like, we're not going to leave this guy outside. So we bring him in and we start giving him medicine. We still don't hear nothing. This is like 2-3 weeks. And so then we take him to the vet. The vet says he's not chipped. There's no sign of him. We haven't seen nothing. So we're like, all right, let's go ahead and give him all his shots. Let's do everything. We're going to adopt him. Yeah. We're going to get him neutered. And, I think I brought that up on the show. So yeah, so we did do all that. Well, yesterday he'd gotten out once before. Shannon was trying to do something and he got out the door and he had his collar on, but we found him. He came back, that afternoon. Well, he got out yesterday.
Next day?
Huh?
Nothing. Oh, so the very next day.
No. Like I'm glad because he came back that same day. But was that a reference to something? The song. Very next day.
The cat came back the very next. The cat came back the very next day. You never heard of that song?
No.
Oh my God.
I've never heard of that song.
No. Yeah.
But thankfully it was the same day. He came back panting like nothing had happened, and I'm like, you little shit. So
yeah.
So we got him back, and then he got out yesterday. So we were looking for him all afternoon, and then that night we saw him at the neighbors that where that dude Josh, the guy with the microphone that came over that one time, where he used to live. He was under their house, and so I'd seen him, and the neighbors were there because he was meowing. So I went over and I was like, "Hey, that's our cat. Sorry he's under your house, but we'll keep an eye out to try to get him." And they were like, "Fine, that's cool. So today we get a phone call that we didn't answer, and then we get a text after we'd taken him to get his last bit of shots saying, "Hey, that was my cat. I saw the call. I saw that you had put a collar on him before, but I just didn't say anything." And it's like, okay. And well, it turns out that I had a miscarriage, and I had that cat, and he was supposed to grow up with my kid. And I'm really attached to him, and I have this bond with him, and I really would like him back. And so, that's what they said essentially. And so she said, and then she said, when I saw him yesterday, I was like, oh, so maybe I should call. And so I'm like, well, if this had been week 1 or week 2, then yeah, this would be no problem. This would be, all we did was put $4 worth of a collar on your cat, and we just took care of it for a day or two, and that's fine. Here's your cat back. This has been 2 months, and you've already seen the cat with a collar once, and you didn't call us, and you didn't have the cat chip. Like, there's a lot of things. So, it continues to say that it said that the cat, that they couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl, so they named it Athena, and I'm like, I've not seen cats that weren't neutered before until Cheeto, really, and I could tell that was a boy because Mr. Bucket had not gotten a hold of him yet.
No, because he's very much safe for Mr. Bucket.
Yeah. So, so we're left with that text message today as we're leaving the vet from getting him to give his shot. So I'm like, so my wife and I, we want to do right by people. We always want to do the right thing. We want to try to do the right thing as best we can because we like to think we're good people, and we want to do what we want others to do as we would do to ourselves, or you know what I'm trying to say. So,
yeah,
we just replied back, "Sorry for your loss," and that's it. That's all we said. I'm kidding. We did. We said more. But we did start off sorry for your loss, because that's really that sucks that she had a miscarriage.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we told him we told him the whole story. We said that that we found him and it was time. Like, we didn't see any flyers or nothing, and I had a hard time believing that if an animal meant so much to you, that you would have gone out to do something about it. It wouldn't have been, because they sent us pictures of him that when they had him, and he was like a lot fatter, like noticeably like fluffier. And when we got him, he was like super thin. So we're like, no, this cat's been out for a lot longer.
So they sent pictures of that same cat earlier.
Yeah, because Father Greg told me that Father Greg told me I couldn't place what he looks like. He's cute as hell, but something's different about him. and he looks like Ron Perlman in Beauty and the Beast when he on the CBS show. He's got that look, and Farmer Greg said that, and that was exactly what it was. And that's what this cat looks like, a fatter version of him. And but when we found him, he was super thin and just like, so it wasn't like we just kidnapped this or catnapped this thing, but and I felt really bad because I'm like, man. But then I told myself, I was like, listen, if I guess you have to ask yourself, like, well, I care about my animals, and if they got out, like if it had gone longer than a day, like if Cheeto had been gone longer than a day, sure. The next day we would have had flyers up, we would have gone to the neighbors, we would have done all this extra stuff. These people saw the cat collar that we put on him, and they even said that in the text message, and didn't call us. And just said no. And then now you see him and now you want him. Now I understand this person's probably going through a lot of emotional stuff, and like that's totally legit.
Probably a lot going on.
Yeah, I absolutely get that. But
yeah,
we just said
the cat's not necessarily your first priority. Like I can see that.
Yeah, but at the same time,
that's a rough one. That's like a Reddit, like, am I the asshole? Basically, like in the making, kind of.
Yeah,
like that.
Because then you got to ask yourself.
That's tight, man.
Yeah,
that's tight, dude. That
I don't know. We did what we thought, but now we're worried about, because we're not entirely sure.
So what? But back up.
Okay,
you didn't like what did you say in the text?
So in the text, we said, sorry for your loss. We explained that the kitty found us, was super thin, had fleas, kept trying to get in the house for like a week. And we were like, okay, nobody's claiming this cat. We put a collar on it for another week, kept it outside. Nobody said anything. And then, so then we took it to get chipped. We basically said everything that, like, I mentioned earlier.
You just told me.
Yeah, and then we basically told her that we invested the money, like hundreds of dollars, to get this cat, like, fixed and all its shots and vaccinations, because we have a cat with feline leukemia, and normally we wouldn't be bringing other cats in, but this cat was like belligerent about getting in our house, and we didn't want to leave it. We couldn't. It was like one of those storms where it's like real bad, and you're like, well, I can't just leave a cat out here, and it's one of those things where it's just really weird. So we went and got him his shots, so he'll be immunized from the other cat, and a lot of that, and that costs a lot of money. And I'm like, now it's going to be it'd be a difference. That's what we told him. We didn't go into all that detail, but we basically said we've invested, and that he's bonded with us. And they even continued in the message saying that, and my boyfriend and I will find y'all another cat. And I'm like,
what the hell?
No, if you're going to take the effort to find us another cat, you can find yourself another cat. But as we talked it through, we realized that, that would be a thing that, like, maybe it's a last ditch effort just to see what will happen, because you don't know. And because they didn't know that we did any of that stuff. So maybe now that they know, they might be like, well, we'll reimburse you. And I'm like, that would help, but I don't think that's going to happen, because we're pretty attached to this cat. So I just feel like if you care about it as much as you say you would have, if you liked it, you would have put a collar on it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was just nuts. We had to. It's just one of those things, because I don't know, but I had to just say no, that's not. We're not going to just give into this thing. We're going to say that. So the only thing now is that I'm worried about retaliation. I'm worried about, like, are they gonna? I don't think they will, especially if it's the neighbors next door, because they're super nice. But it's just one of those things where you never know nowadays. So.
I guess on their part, I mean, it's worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that, like, it's worth it to see.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I do. That's tough. I do tend to side, I guess, on the side of saying, hey, look, like, the cat was neglected for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the thing with me.
It's a fine thing, though. I get it. It's I don't know why. I can't get hot about either side of this for some reason. I don't know why I'm right in the middle, but, like, I don't feel my gut telling me, like either way is like fully right. I don't know why.
Right.
I'm like some Solomon shit on this. Like it just keeps kind of like
it
just keeps kind of like going in a loop where I'm like, well, I ask myself like, okay, so all right, so what's the problem with like keeping the cat, right? Like what's the problem with that, because, and I understand, it's funny because I can see that side of it. At the same time, it is kind of weird, I guess. I keep trying to put myself in your shoes, and I guess I don't see myself giving the cat up either.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's far than about the money. Like it's far from the money for me. Like I think that like if to me it's like, oh well, we paid money because part of me would just be like, oh, like pay me the money back. Like it was this much. We put this much into the cat. Like if there's that, then let's see that in cash, and then we can talk. But there's more obviously to it than the money.
Yeah.
Like there's the neglectful element of it. You know what might be kind of triggering me a little bit? So I think I told this story on the podcast before, I think a while back, but we had neighbors that we're 99% sure stole my mom and dad's cat straight up.
Oh, right. Like, yeah.
And just to like summarize just a little like short one was, my parents had this cat and very distinctive color and kept getting out, and like it was like an adolescent cat, and it was like super fast, and my mom would like leave in the morning, and it was like pitch black, like going to school, and gone like into the night, you know what I mean, and she'd be like shit, and she'd look, but I mean she's an elementary school principal, she has to go to work,
she has to be at work,
like, no one's got to do the school thing, right? Like so this happened, and the cat would always be out in the flower bed. My dad would like see it and grab it, and it was just a thing that kind of happened a couple times. Well, one time they couldn't find it, and the neighbors down the street returned it, and they were like, and they're a weird like shut-in couple anyway. And this woman was basically like, really mad and saying like, well, this is your cat, why is it outside or whatever? And my dad's like, my wife let it out twice, like it was like 4:30 in the morning, like the cat just got out, like they have a collar, it had its shots, everything like that. It's like we literally just, it was an accident kind of. And she's like, well, if I see this cat again, it's mine, or whatever. And it was like, my dad's like, okay. So he told me about that. Well, one time I guess it got out again, and this is like honestly too like months later. So this isn't like oh, this happened like 3 days in a row. And whatever, and cat never was around. So we went and knocked on that damn door. And it was me and my dad, and I was pissed.
Oh no. No, it's confused. No, Ryan, you died again. Oh, he's gonna be real pissed. This is gonna be fun. All right, let's see if I can fix that again. Oh my goodness. Oh lordy day, he's not gonna be happy. But yeah. Jeez. Sorry guys. He'll be back in a second. Hopefully we'll be able to get that fixed. But catching up with chat, I've been seeing what everyone's saying, and guys, thank y'all so much for all the love and support for us and Cheeto, and Shannon, my wife, the Citrine Ghost, is in the chat as well. But yeah, like that was oh man, it was rough. But I feel like I'm a money guy, like, so money I hate to be that way, but it's like money talks, you know what I'm saying? And not to say that that's the end all be all, but it is a very huge considerable factor for things for me. And if it had just been a few days, I think we would, or like a couple weeks, we would have done it. We would have been like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Like that, we put the collar on it so that people would find him and be like, why'd you put a collar on our cat? And that's that was the whole thing. We were trying to figure that out, and they never did. When they saw it, they didn't even they never even said anything back. So yeah, but so that was an ordeal, having to deal with that, and then not sure what you're gonna, because we were out, like I said, we had gone to Friar Greg's dad's funeral, and then we took him to see my new baby nephew. Well, not the cat didn't want to see the nephew. The cat, my nieces wanted to see the cat, and we needed to see the nephew. And because my wife didn't believe he had eyes, because every picture we'd seen of this kid, his eyes have been shut. So she's like, I got to see eyes or it's not real to me. and which is valid. I mean, I totally, I stand behind her on that. And we confirmed that he did have eyes, and and then we take him to the vet. And it's like, oh, we just bonded him with our family, and then now this person's wanting to take him away. So yeah, it was kind of nuts, but yeah, oh man, M Wilson in the chat, bonus soup, yes. So M, I'm so confused because I forgot. I didn't remember if you were going to be here tonight. No, you said you wouldn't be here Thursday. That's right. That's why you were getting Noah to come in and clean things up and make sure everything goes right. So yeah, so I'm glad you're here, bud. Yeah. So guys, again, apologies for our technical issues. It's raining here in Florida, so I mean that's kind of how it always is. But yeah, we y'all are killing me with these cat fighting things. This is great. But yeah, it's on tonight's show. If we can get it going, I don't know what Ryan's gonna let me know what his situation looks like, because before the show he was doing all kinds of updates and stuff, so there was issues. But yeah, so we thought we got them all, but I guess not. But we'll see here momentarily. But if we can get the show going, we're gonna be doing, what is it? Is it issue 14? I think that's what we're on. I'm looking at the actual hardcover, or not hardcover. What is this thing called? I think it's 14. Yeah, issue 14 of the Image run. And I don't want to verify that because I'm so paranoid when doing math on the mic or any number stuff on the mic. Let's see here. Where we at? Is this 14? It is indeed. Yes. Image, issue number 14. And we'll be doing that. And we're also going to be talking about the Stranger Things TMNT toy crossover with Playmates. And yeah, so that's going to be fun because I think we got some opinions about those, and that'll be interesting. So, but yeah, Saturday. It's kind of wild. It's wild getting back to this. This is how we used to do. We used to do them on Saturdays. For the longtime Turtletarians will remember. Let's see. Ryan's filling me back in, just saying that just nothing. No, there's no warnings. Let's see. He's thinking that he might be. It might be done. He might not be able to come back. So we'll see. I'll keep going for a few more minutes and see if he's gonna be able to come back, and if not, then I'm gonna hop on and try to do the news. I might do like a 5-minute break or something and see what's going on, and then we'll come back. But I'll let you know in a second. But yeah. So we but yeah, longtime Turtletarians will remember we used to do the you trying to get on the show? You trying to get in here? Uh oh. Someone's coming in. Oh, there she is. That's Shannon, my wife, everybody. She just said hello to everyone in chat. Yeah. But yeah, we used to do them on Saturdays. Go to Brooklyn Bridge, come here, and and do the stuff. Easy, guys. Y'all are killing me. Like, so that reminds me, there's a new Pokemon game coming out, and I was thinking about what am I going to name myself again, and I always name myself, my first name is Easy and my last name is Does It. So in the Pokemon games they always refer to me as that, and that just kills me. So can you oh, I can hear Ryan. You want me to can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay, we're still streaming. Do you want me to cut you, or do you want to be on the?
I mean, I can talk to everybody here about it. My computer just shut off for the second time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking like hard shut off, just like
wow.
Like if you pulled the power plug, like done.
That's
and
nuts.
I don't know what it's so crappy, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But looking back, like it could have been doing it because of the brownout we had last week or last Thursday or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So guys, this is like truly like unprecedented here.
Right.
But I just thought, I'm like, oh, I can connect on my phone.
Right.
Right.
Can you see chat at all? No, because you're on Zoom. You're not Zoom.
No, I'm on Discord on my phone. I can see chat. I can see the show because it's what you send me.
Oh, that's
so,
right.
So I can see the show. I see my little soup can.
Okay. Because
everything.
It's
really crazy.
Coming in with that man's out here calling into his own show.
No, it's bad. It's really bad, dude. Like I'm like I just
good.
sat there and like threw my headphones across the room, and I was just sitting there like, okay, so like what do I do?
Yeah.
And now, yeah, I feel like I'm calling into my own podcast. It is.
I love this.
The weirdest feeling ever.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, is there even a way to do the show like this?
Well,
like, because the problem is we don't have like the audio recording. I don't know how I'm on my just on my AirPods, so I don't know like if people can hear me okay or whatever.
Guys, let us know in the chat if you can hear old dad okay, because I think he sounds fine. He's right here. But yeah, you sound like you're on a phone, but it's not a bad phone. It sounds like it's like a good phone. Like
caller. Hey guys, long time, first time. Hey, Brian guy. Love you guys.
Yeah,
I just don't. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking like because we don't have the Pro Tools audio to do the audio podcast.
Yeah.
That's down. That's offline. The only thing we could do is like, I mean, run it. You just take the audio from this rip of me talking, but like I don't know what kind of podcast that's going to be for people on the audio side.
Yeah, we might have to just delay the podcast. But now, do you want to? I mean, we could try to do the news, or we could just keep running this for a minute. We could do this for a little bit longer, and then this will be our July chef special, essentially. And then we just.
Oh no, we could this could be the July chef special. Like I could just hang out on the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
We can hang out with everybody.
Yeah,
and then circle the wagons next Thursday and get an actual podcast out.
Yeah, because this is not planned by any means, but we want to.
Oh, absolutely not. No, we are.
Yeah, just make sure that let us know if you can hear Ryan okay. Just confirm with that, and then. But yeah, that's probably what we should do. That's probably what we'll do is we'll just run that, and then we'll come back next Thursday.
Yeah,
but we'll be here. We'll hang out and do this. But I think we got Cheeto wants to make an appearance real quick. This is the cat in question. Let's see if you can get him in there. He's can you see him? Does he kind of look
faces out here?
Does he look like Ron Perlman a little bit?
I see the connection.
You see the connection? Yeah.
I do.
This is the only cat I've ever met that like will just sit in your arms and would just like let you hold him like a person. And it's like adorable. So yeah, but Shed's like a mother though.
Yeah.
So he's saying bye, everybody. So
all right.
Thanks for stopping by, Cheeto. Smell you later.
Yeah, thanks for it. Smell you later.
So yeah, I need to find a I gotta get static images of us because let's see if I remove the logo. No, it doesn't show your the frame that it froze on your face was hilarious. Like it was not cute. Like it was funny, but it was not the best photo. I mean, obviously, because it just happened. But so I was like, oh, I gotta find give me pictures of the soup can quick. And so
yeah, I'm sorry, guys, and Eric. Yeah,
Don't apologize to me. I don't ever need to apologize.
It's crazy
from you. I feel bad.
My computer's normally like a tank. Like my computer just like is like soup and potatoes, like no nonsense. Like it just runs. Soup and potatoes. Or I guess meat and potatoes. I don't know.
No, soup and potatoes works with me. That's fine. I get that.
I had potato soup for dinner. It was really good. So I think I have potato soup on the mind. But anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, normally it's like super solid, man. It just
man.
Yes.
I hate power stuff. I don't hate electricity, but I feel bad for you because like we have to figure that out. Like that's the thing. So yeah, that's something I don't like having on the back burner. You know what I mean? Like I don't like having that on the stovetop.
That's gonna be my top priority this week is playing that game.
Noah said that Ryan's computer got the vid. Oh goodness, it probably
did.
Man,
it may. So I had an interesting story happen. If you want to hear a story,
sure.
I guess no one's saying that I'm at a weird volume where they can't hear me. So I guess I sound okay.
Okay, yeah. I think you sound fine.
But oh, this is so weird. I gotta shift into like chef special mode. For my son's birthday, like he wanted to collect like retro video game stuff. I think I was talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
So we got him like a PS2 Fat. There's this there's this like retro game store in the Riverview Flea Market, which is an eclectic place to be. And we got him, you know, a PS2 and some games and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, something went wrong with the PS2 that we got. Like, it started having these really bad issues. So we returned it and luckily had another one. So we just swapped it, you know, and got it home. On the way out of that store, there's like a stall, like right near it. Okay.
Yeah.
And sitting in a rack, like a rolling, like wooden rack.
Yeah.
Is the exact model receiver from like audio receiver,
right,
from 1978. It's a 78 JC Penney. I think it's a rebranded Philips receiver that my parents gave me when I was like 13.
Oh snap!
And was like the command center of my music shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I took that thing and I made it it was everything. We had our 4-track like Fostex tape recorder hooked up to it because we were doing music.
Yeah.
So we would bounce out to that tape deck. All right.
Okay. Right.
I made my first mixtapes on it. My first record player, I connected to it and listened to records through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything like that. It was on. I listened to the radio. It was literally my command center.
Huh.
And over the years, I can't remember what happened to it. I think something stopped working or something got messed up. And I got rid of it.
Right.
Dude, it's the same damn model sitting right there.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. Right? I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I look and there's like crap piled on top of it. There's two like computer monitors, like a weird rack that's like hanging off the edge holding all these baby clothes, all this crazy shit. But on the cabinet, there was a little like pink sticker. It said $20.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I walked away. I was like, you know, I need to think about this for a minute. Like, what? Like, I walked, dude, hard haggler. Although it's weird. It's like a pre-haggler, actually, is what I'll define this move as.
Okay, I'm with you. This can happen.
Guys. So if you know, you're going over the old podcast and you're going over the Merle Haggler playbook, this is a nuanced thing that maybe doesn't get talked about in Dims and Rules or whatever, but this is definitely a thing. If it's something that you feel like you have a weird, it's like nostalgia's telling you to do something. There is the Haggler pre-walk away. Just walk away for a second, whether it's a day, a couple days, walk away and ask yourself, like, do I have a plan for this thing? Or is this just nostalgia? Now, if it's just nostalgia and you want to get it, go get it. But come back to it.
Yeah.
Like I've found this has worked really well for me. Come back to it because it's like, especially in a flea market, it's going to be there. Like I had no worry that someone's going to snatch up this receiver buried under like kids' clothes. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
So I let it kind of sit. I actually took a picture of it, sent it to Shane, and he was like, "Oh my God." And I made it like the background, like wallpaper for my phone.
Oh my goodness!
So I wouldn't forget about it.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm with you.
Yeah, because you know what? You know, because I just didn't want to like get mixed up in other stuff and then think, you know, 2 weeks later, like, oh.
I never thought about making it the wallpaper as because I take a picture, obviously, like or screenshot or whatever. Yeah, I get that. I just never thought about taking it to that next level. I thought that you were just so enamored with it that you're like. Well, let me just indulge and take it, you know, make it my screensaver. Yeah, no, but that makes perfect sense though.
Like I've done it in the past, and if I really don't want to forget something, like I've literally like things I've had to like say take to work or things I had to do that first thing that morning or whatever. I have like literally like taken a screenshot of my notepad and made that my background.
Oh wow!
Because it's hard to like forget it, right?
Absolutely,
it's right there.
Yeah.
So I did it with this, and I was like, all right, man, damn, you know. So today I'm like, I'm going back, right? So I go back, get it for 15.
Oh, you haggled?
Oh, I haggled.
Ooh.
15.
Cash
get
on
it
the
back
hip?
to the house. Cash on the hip.
Ooh. Man.
Get it back to the house. Get it set up, dude.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have speakers, okay?
Okay.
One tape deck is jammed shut. Like I need to figure that out. You know, I knew all that. But I made them plug it in, and the lights all work. And I was like, that's a good sign because like the lights are part of it. So, dude, I plugged in, has like a 1/4-inch headphone jack because, you know, old school. Plugged my Sonys into it, tuned it to like 93.3, which is like our like contemporary pop station down here in Tampa. Dude, it worked. It sounds so fucking good. It sounds so good through the headphones. You have no idea. I was like, oh my god! It has like a loudness button, which is basically like a compression
compressor, yeah.
That you could put on it, and loudness worked, high trim worked, all the EQ,
that's
the
fun.
volume,
yeah.
And it was locked on to that channel. Like it was just like the built-in antenna's gold. It's like and I was like, oh my god. So, dude, like, I am so geeked out about this receiver. You have no idea.
That's
I'm like,
awesome. I'm geeked out for you. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. Real quick, checking in with chat. We got Noah saying dims the rules for Haggler Nation. Loco Lou saying nice strategy about the walking away. Jake Niehaus saying that's a great idea. I'm about to go make some toothpaste in my background now for tomorrow when I go shopping. that's dude, exactly right.
It works.
Yeah, it'll work. M. Wilson saying, so the euro is on par with the USD, and I'm eyeing a Latvian drum machine that's, let's see, it's cut off on my screen, that's $2,200 used from Sweetwater, possible 19 direct from Latvia due to euros. So an unexpected check from the university for 125. Let me get that $2,000 drum machine. But
dude.
But you might have to walk away. You might have to let it sit for percolate, or mercolate, if you will. But no, that's awesome. Like I love that. Like I can't say that I do. See, for nostalgia, I think that's something I can do. I can run that whole game for nostalgia. If it's something new, that then I'm gonna I can't do that because I've talked to you before where I've gotten like really put out because I'm very much into buying things. I love stuff, and I'll talk myself out of something, and then I don't get it, and then I spend the next 2 weeks trying to find it again, and it's a nightmare. So, but it's different.
No, like obviously, for new stuff that's different. Like the thing is, so with new stuff, like usually it's coming down the pipe,
right?
So you can do like a simulated Merle Haggler walk away on that in your head.
Yeah.
Like, don't think about it for a couple days. Like, let's say like we're pre-ordering toys and we don't know do I go that far? Yeah. Do I get into this other line? Stuff like that because I really want these figures, but I know what it's going to do to me. Right. Like anything, like collecting old Turtles comics. Like, oh man, like they got like an issue 4 first printing for Bob. Well, you can like walk away. Like, I'm sorry, I brought up the old comics, which is not the same, but new stuff. Yeah. You can walk away for a second because it's on pre-order and you got time.
Yeah.
But when it's the pure nostalgia, like with something like that, you just got to kind of weigh it out. And I just felt like if I was going to pop right there, I just needed some time.
Oh, no,
I was like, what are you going to do with this? Because like the truth is, like, you don't want it to sit and like just molder at your house.
No.
Like that's stupid, right? Is. Like,
yeah.
So, I'm excited to kind of bring it back to life. Like, I want to get new speakers for it.
That's awesome. I want to ask you about it in a second. I want to bring up so Noah says that he's been doing that with some old school skateboards lately. I think he's also referencing some stuff that M was talking about, the Haggler adjacent story about the drum machine. But he's 5 deep in the last 2 months. Now, Noah, your version of old school might be a little bit a few years before mine, I think, because when I think of old school stuff like skateboards, I think of like hookups, but hookups like when they were less smut and more like anime, like cool anime stuff. And that stuff geeks me out still. Like I remember looking at those CSS books or whatever they were, and I know that Father Preston is huge into skateboarding right now. And so if you take pictures of those and share them in the group, Father Preston loved to see that. And but and also M, I need to get your you need to post your Bandcamp stuff and all your links to your music, because like I need to hear some M in my ears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw you were playing the other night, and I was like, oh my god, I'd love to go see you live and see all that stuff, because that looked awesome. So I hope that went really well. But Ryan, you're talking about this, and I think that it reminded me of, I can't think of what it was called, but my parents got me the 5-disc CD changer, but it was also like a two tape decks. and a drum machine and a radio receiver and all this stuff. Do you remember those types of those stereo that they used to make? Do you remember those? All of those in one. So I had this thing and I loved it. It was amazing. It looked like a casino. The way the lights would go and flash. And I like you, I made all my mixtapes on there. So I had this stuffed Chili Willy doll that him and I would do this radio takeover, because I worked at a Southern gospel radio station when I was 15. So I would pretend that like I was going to work and I took over the radio station, all this shit. And so me and Chili Willy, we took it over. But now this band Joy Electric, they have a song that starts off really crazy, and the song's called "We're Taking Over," and I'd start them off always with "We're Taking Over," and
that's awesome.
And I'd run it like a radio show, and I'd talk on it, and I'd announce, and I'd be like a DJ. I was practicing my DJs, like my not like wicka wicka wee, but like just talking. And
your on-air talent skills.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
You were actually practicing for Turtle Soup, but anyway.
See, who knew? I didn't know this, but yeah, that's exactly what we were doing, and it was so much fun because like I could get the drum machine on there. It was so weird. It's like, why does this radio have a drum machine on it? And I loved that thing to death. And then one day, it was I think I knew you at the time. It was probably around 2007 when we met. I'm sitting in my house, and that thing just starts smoking, not like cigarettes, but like it starts catching on fire, and I'm like, oh shit. And yeah, that thing bit the dust. It burned up like a dang old piece of toast.
This turkey's cooked.
Yeah. It's like Lisa Meringue over here. But
shit.
But yeah, back to chat. Noah affirms that no, it was Old School Pals and Santa Cruz's from the 80s. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a little bit outside of my. I only knew a little bit about. I was into skateboarding for a minute, and then that was about it. But that's cool. Speaking of that, real quick, my wife and I, Shannon, we watched that show. And Ryan, you got to get on this eventually. When you got nothing else to watch, you got to get on YouTube and look up Knickknacks. And this dude does this like deep dive on like everything Nickelodeon and like why it was, and like why were they playing Dennis the Menace like in the 90s, like from the 50s, and all this stuff, and he breaks it down, and it's fascinating. Well, he did one about Skate TV. Do you remember that? It came on Nickelodeon. It was like a 1-season show. Had Matthew Lillard. It was his first TV thing. And if you don't know who Matthew Lillard is,
what year was this?
Oh, I don't remember what year it was. It was definitely. Oh, Shannon's in the chat. She might chime in with what year it was. But yeah. But it was early 90s, if not 80s. But I think it was early 90s. And but he went by a different name. And now he's the guy that played the live action Shaggy, and he's also in SLC Punk and a bunch of other stuff. He was in Scream.
Yeah.
But he's on there.
Underrated in 13 Ghosts. Hello.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that.
Huh. Matthew Lillard.
Oh, he's also in Twin Peaks: The Return. And Shannon says 1990.
Dude, he is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He is ridiculous in Twin Peaks: The Return. He is so good.
Yeah. Oh, he's excellent. Well, this dude, the dude in Knickknacks is talking about how you might think Matthew Lillard's just a goofball, like burnout guy but no, this dude is like what do they call a thespian? Like he is like he's and he's an activist. Like he's done all this stuff when he was a kid, he was doing all this stuff. And so they were saying that like he had to kind of put on this skate slacker persona, which was sort of kind of an act. I don't know. It was fascinating, but it was really interesting talking about it. And so Noah, you might enjoy that. You might get a kick out of that with your skateboard kick going. So you might get a kick flip out of that, if you will. How you like that, huh? So but yeah. So let's see. What else do we got? Then M. Wilson talking about he says he's just got a hold of some Jose Canseco bats, and of course hope you didn't pay money for those. And Jake's like, and a drum machine too. Any DJ, wicka wicka wee. That's what DJs do. That's what DJs do. But and then M. Wilson again reminds me that he swapped gear with Joy Electric, and I can't wait one day, and we're gonna have a huge conversation about that, because I just in fact, and I might have mentioned this already.
I'm gonna backpack my way to M.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but like it works in TV shows where you just find somebody.
Oh, right.
I'm just going to live with him for a couple of weeks. So.
Oh man, and if we could live with you, we would live stream and do the show from there. But that would be
like
amazing.
I'm just going to like seriously, I'm just going to like insinuate myself into his life and just like I'm just gonna be helping out at the reservation, and I'm just never gonna come home.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like kind of my plan. Like when the gig is up over here,
yeah.
You know, when I'm finally called out for my dumb nerd horseshit, I'm just gonna just dissolve into M. Wilson's life.
Right.
And just be his like basically be the Igor to his Dr. Frankenstein. Basically, that's my plan.
Absolutely, that would be fantastic. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then yeah, Shannon confirms that it was 1990 that show was on, and he's credited as Matthew Lynn. That's. But anyway, we got off on a tangent there, but that was fun.
We did. You want to hear another weird story?
I desperately do.
That involves my wallpaper on my phone.
Yes, I do.
So I recently took a picture of a signs that have been around my suburban little area, advertising mosquito fish, free mosquito fish.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, like mosquito fish. Let's figure it out. So the pool at my house is awful. I talked about this on the show a long time ago. It's still awful because it's going to take around 20 to 30 grand to fix.
Oh, geez.
And so it is a swamp.
Yeah.
And in the summer, the mosquitoes are terrible. And there's just a point where, like, it needs, like, okay, so there is so much crap going on in this pool. We had a guy come out a while back, and he was like, you can't even drain this pool. You need someone to drain it because the problem is, like, at its age and where it is on the property, if you were to drain it yourself, it could lift the pool out of the ground and break it.
What? That's nuts.
Yes. And what's funny is I looked that up, and that's completely true. Yeah. Like, because at first I was like, this sounds a little bit like that old, like, oh, well, you better get a professional.
Right.
I was like, because I thought about just draining it. And being like, well, hey, better if there's no water, that's better than water, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because of mosquitoes and frogs and other shit that, like, live there. So I looked it up, and absolutely. Like, the pool can lift. And professionals know, like, while they're draining it to watch for that. And if not, they'll stop, and they know how to, like, ease it out. So I'm like, okay. So this thing, dude, mosquitoes out here are wild. Like, they will pick you up and, like, carry you out to the woods. Is. It's like Green Inferno, basically, out here. Like, it's crazy. So I saw this thing for mosquito fish, and I was like, man, I'm gonna put some mosquito fish in that pool, right? Like, that'd be badass.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So I show up. So I take a picture of that sign. I make it the background on my phone, right? And it's gonna be Saturday. This last Saturday, they're gonna give them out at this park. So I go out there, dude. It's loaded. There's all these people there for their free mosquito fish, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, "That's wow."
Right.
And they can't get rid of these mosquito fish enough. And I'm like, "All right." So I do all my stuff, show my proof of residency, everything. So I get to the guys at the table, and they have a bag of fish. And I'm like, "All right." So I grab a bag, and the guy goes, "All right, man. Good luck." I go, "Well, hold on a second. I got some questions because you know me. I got questions." I was like,
"Oh, of course."
I was like, "Well, I'm dealing with like a pool. It's like a full size swimming pool. Like, is this enough fish?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, definitely." He's like, "Cause that's the whatever. Like, that's the batch that we put into like small ponds and lakes." He's like, "So you're good." I'm like, "All right." I go, secondly, I'm like, "Here's my problem. I'm like, there's a lot of frogs out here, man, and they're like grown up. There's probably even turtles in this pool too. Are the fish cool, or am I just feeding the other wildlife like fish in my pool, basically?"
Right.
And he looks at me and goes, "No, these fish are hyper aggressive. They'll attack the frogs."
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, "What?"
And we've heard about your frogs. We've heard about your frog problem before, where you had to.
Oh yeah, the firecrackers and all that. No, it's a whole 9 yards. So So long story short, he's like, "No, they're good." He's like, honestly, they'll nip the frogs. The frogs don't go near them. And I'm like, "Oh, nice, cool." So I dumped them in. So we shall see. You know what I mean? They can eat up to 100 mosquito larvae a day per fish.
Huh. That's a lot.
Oh, look, you got a picture of me. I look like psychotic in that photo.
That's the radical rewatch raffle photo that you sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it though because I figured that's the face you made at your computer whenever it crashed.
That's exactly the face I made at my computer. The only one that you could have is I know I sent you one of me like crying into the air.
Oh, that's
like weeping very dramatically. You can have that one too because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love that. Does it give the effect like it's Metal Gear? Because like that's what I was going for. Like I wanted it.
It looks like yes.
Okay, good. Because on the remix videos that we've been working on, like that's how you and I look, and it's I kind of love it. It's really neat. But I had to
I like it.
Do some machinations. But that's nuts. So now you have fish that can eat the mosquitoes in your pool, that or in that area. That's
yes.
Okay, that's
yes.
Cool.
That you should eat the larvae in the pool, and I should be seeing benefits unless they died off, and apparently they're like ultra robust. Yeah. So they're breeding as we speak. I think their life cycle is like a month and a half or something. They have like more babies.
Right. That's wild.
So yeah. No, eventually, I don't know if mosquito fish make good eating or not.
Oh, well, dang. Yeah, that's true. You might have to look up some recipes for that.
They only get to like, I guess, 3 inches long or something like that at their full. But yeah, if I ever go hungry, you know what I'm saying? If it's ever one of those hunger strikes, I'll just grab that thing up.
Yeah. Goodness. Well, that's wild. Yeah. So, yeah, because what happens though if they get out of hand? Then what do? Like, then you got to find like another animal that eats the mosquito-eating fish.
Oh yeah, no, it's part of and those will cost me money. You know, like that's how the county gets you.
Oh, that's
like,
how.
Mosquito fish.
Right.
Eat the mosquito fish.
Right. It's like
you're like, oh,
yeah, you get the mosquito fish for free, but then that's how they get you. And yeah, that's the self-perpetuating problem.
That's how they get you.
So yeah, in the chat, M says the boy just moved out, so I'll put the bunk beds up, and dude, that'd be sick. Oh my goodness, that'd be nuts having a sleepover at M's with bunk beds. Yeah, and Noah says sleepover at M's. Ryan Ragland says punk frog problems, which yeah, that's exactly what you were having. And that frog's gone, by the way, right? Like he's sayonara.
Yeah, that frog is outie. The one that sounds like a damn clown horn.
Right.
Like it's gone. Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah, and then John Clemens confirms that Ryan looks psychotic in that photo, and Ryan Ragland says that it looks like an album cover. That does kind of look like your album cover. You should put out a solo record with that. And let's see here. M says starting to feel like we should get an Airbnb in Plant City. Hey, that'd be kind of neat if we could open one of those, like a turtle soup themed Airbnb. Oh man, that'd be sick.
That would be sick.
Jake saying Ryan's face when he remembers the turtles have to parole him on the 9th day of the.
Oh
that
my
is
god!
A deep cut. Oh my god! I just barely missed that. Parole me on the 9th. Remember that because that's something that Splinter said in the captions. It said parole me on the 9th day.
Parole me on the 9th day of this.
Oh god. Jake, I haven't thought about that in a minute. Parole me on the 9th.
It's been a minute.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's so good. Parole me on the 9th day of the. Oh, geez. Oh, sorry. So Ryan Ragland says MF the police. Rapper Ryan probably. That's your whole name. That's your title is Rapper Ryan probably.
The sound of screaming children has been removed.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was terrifying. So he does confirm that was the easy subtitle reference. Thank you again. Yes. Oh my goodness. Shannon says Ryan's face when the hook has brought him back for the 1 millionth, a bunch of other numbers time. Oh my god,
dude,
that's true.
Your wife sent me a happy birthday message with John Popper in it, which I really appreciate because that was the first jokes her and I ever made.
Oh yeah.
We got on this John Popper. I don't even know how it started, but we got on this John Popper thing.
I don't either. I think that you knew she was into music and you just sent her a bunch of like weird music stuff to. I think maybe you were. I'm probably projecting, but you were probably like, all right, let's see how much of music you know, and then you start talking about John Popper, and then she starts like running the thing, and then you run the thing, and it's just like one thing after another.
I can't remember. It was like a pun or something. I wasn't trying to like test her.
No.
I was trying to see if she could hang with how weird I got. So our conversation got ultra weird. and ended in a unwritten challenge to keep this John Popper reference thing in the air.
Yeah, yeah.
Like as long as we could, and it was like brinksmanship.
Right.
Basically, is what it broke down to. We're like we kept trying to find pictures of John Popper, that we had not put in the chat before,
right?
And comment on them.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And we basically
that's a better way of saying that. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, we
wanted
putting together like a John Popper, like this is your life, basically.
Yeah.
Is what we did in that chat.
I remember being in Walmart with her, and I'm like talking to her, and then she just pulls out her phone and stops talking to me, and is like sending. And I'm like, "Are you sending Ryan more pictures of John Popper?" And she goes, "Yes." I was like, "All right, I can't be mad about that. That's that's blood of my blood. You know what I'm saying?" But yeah. That's. I'm glad you appreciated that. Yeah, she was really happy about that too.
No, I love it.
So oh goodness, I am not used to wearing glasses. Like I still can't. I keep wanting to rub my face and rub my eyes, and I'm like, oh wait, there's
glasses blow unless you have a prescription that's like ultra light.
Yeah,
like where they're just like, oh, I have these things on my face and I can see better. Like when they start distorting your vision, like it adds on top of the inferiority of just wearing glasses on your face anyway.
Yeah,
like. And what's funny is some people really rock glasses well. Like I think you actually rock glasses really well. I think they just kind of naturally look good on your face. Like Father Preston does too. I look pretty good in glasses if I have the right frames.
Yeah.
Jake is a big works the glasses man.
Yeah.
Like that works.
Oh yeah.
If you're out in the middle of shit and there's sweat involved.
Yeah.
Glasses are the worst thing in the actual world.
Yeah.
Was I talking to you the other day about the origin of you wouldn't hit a man with glasses? What does that mean? You talking about that?
I think that was, because I think I was asking if I can say that now.
Because that's what it was. Yeah, because they were so like priceless, basically.
Yeah. Well, real quick, checking back, in chat. John Clemens says you got to keep the fish in line with depth charges, and that's gonna be nuts. I mean, you could probably get them at the firecracker store here in Florida too. So
I bought a bag, bro.
Yeah,
if we need a depth charge, I got a long fuse and they burn underwater. I depth charged the damn pool one time and it scared me a little bit.
That's
because I was like, man, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Well, M's talking about this that episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast where he calls John Popper Chubby Popper. That's nuts. I loved Space Ghost as a kid. I need to go back to it and watch it. Shannon was talking about how that convo was ridiculous between y'all two, and I loved it. So, and then Jake says thank you for talking about what good he looks in glasses.
Hey man, I'm just gonna shine light on another brother. You know what I'm saying? That's all there is to it.
Well, since we're not going to do the show and there's no telling, I might regurgitate some of this for the show next week. But Jake was asking me about the show that I went to, and I figured we could talk about that, and then we'll see where we're at, and we'll see what we need to do. But yeah, dude, I went and saw Coheed on Wednesday. Coheed and Cambria, for those who don't know, dude. So I'm gonna.
Did you die right now when you drank his chemical?
I did. I totally did. I drink his chemical.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And,
I just wanted to make sure,
right.
Because he's just gonna keep saying, "Why don't you die right now?"
Yeah. It's gonna keep happening.
Until you die. So you might as well drink the chemical.
You might as well, or else you're gonna wish you did. But it was fantastic. So the whole thing was that that apparently Dance Gavin Dance got into some this band Dance Gavin Dance. They were going to open for Coheed, but they got in trouble with some stuff. So they came off, and then Alkaline Trio were brought on, and they're one of Shannon's favorite bands. And so she wanted to go see them because a lot of her favorite bands they don't ever come to Florida. So we're like, all right, let's go see them. Now, it's at the amphitheater. It used to be the 1-800-ASK Gary amphitheater, which was one of our accident law firms.
Our ambulance chasers, basically.
Yeah. And it was hilarious that we're like, oh, we're going to the 1-800-ASK Gary amphitheater. But unfortunately, it was called something else now. I don't know, something stupid. And it's outside, and it's just ugly as hell. And it's the only thing I will say is that they had legit food outside the thing. So I'm like, this is kind of cool. Go into a concert.
Alicia's.
Go ahead.
Alicia's been there a lot for Next Big Thing, which is like a concert like kind of series that this alternative station around here puts on. And she's been to the amphitheater a lot for that. And yeah, apparently like the food truck game is like gold.
Oh, dude, it's not even food trucks. These are legit, like what they might be, and I could be wrong, but they might be like just stations where you come and you set up your stuff. But like they had a Fuzzies, they had like
cool.
like named things, like not just like mom and pop stuff. But nevertheless, it was nuts. That was really cool. And the problem was that in Florida, it's the Sunshine State. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're watching a band from the seats in an amphitheater, they're like they're pretty small, and there's the delay in the sound, and it's just a mess. And then the video that they're trying to do, I work in video production with the church job that I do, so it's like I'm kind of being a snob about it. I'm like, these people are just phoning it in, like they're not doing nothing. This is just horrible. For Alkaline Trio, who's a 3-piece punk band, and their singer, their main singer, Matt Skiba, their guitarist, he's also the guitarist for Blink-182 now. Well, it's been funny because I've been making fun of them a lot, just picking on him. I was like, how goth is Matt Skiba? You know what? How many graveyards I've been in more graveyards than he's been in, and just giving Shannon, like, just giving her shit for it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm out in the graveyards catching Pokemon, but I'm still out in the graveyards. I've got more goth cred now than he does, and I just kept running that, and it was just hilarious. But they put on a good show.
Oh, really fast. Let me remind me to tell you the story about how I duped Bobby Graves from the Misfits into giving me a high five he felt terrible about.
Oh, okay. I want to hear about that. I definitely want to hear about that. I'm going to write Bobby Graves. So I'm going to put that on my phone screensaver, or in the back of my phone.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah,
so you'll remember tomorrow.
So I'll remember. But yeah, they were great. They were funny and did some stuff. And he did an Easy E cover, and I was like, oh, that's neat. But the merch line was insane. I'd never seen that many people in line for merch. So it was raining a little bit. It was nuts. But we got a double rainbow, which was really cool, and it was fitting for COVID. Yeah. So but then so we watched them in our assigned seats on one side of the stage, and then the bass player for the Paperback Whale, my band, he was there, so we went to the other side to see him and his wife, and then Coheed starts, like they play their opening thing, which is Iron Maiden, which oddly enough I've never spent really any significant time with Iron Maiden, and whatever song they played, I was like, Mike, what is this? And he's like, oh, that's Maiden. I'm like, dude, I need more of this. He's like, oh, I'll hook you up, because Mike's a huge metalhead, so he's going to hook me up with that. But I was like, all right, yeah. So that was really neat. Then, dude, like, everything's black. By this time, the sun's gone down, and the video screens look appropriate, how they're supposed to look. This thing kind of inflates, and it's this giant-looking demon thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I'm here for this. I'm here. And then they've got their what is it? The keywork, their logo that's on all their stuff, the circles and triangles, and it's in the center stage. And they come out, and it's insane, and it's nuts. And Claudio's just jumping all over the place, and it's fantastic. And everyone's singing all the lyrics. So Claudio just stopped singing some stuff, and I'm like, that gives you chills. Like, I don't know, because like I've spent a lot of time with Coheed songs, and like that just really like builds you up. And they were fantastic and flawless. And they
did they play 10 speed?
They did not play 10 speed. To my recollection, they did not play 10 speed, which I was really, I know, but they played a bunch of other old ones. And all the good ones from the new record, which the new record's actually not bad. I fell off of them after Black Rainbow. I didn't like Black Rainbow. And then I went back and listened to a few of the other ones, and they're okay. I just didn't get as much into them as the first 3 or 4. But this new one is kind of brought me back a little bit. It's a little better. Also, I'll say this, and this goes back to Turtle Soup, and it's like, I don't know if this helps anybody. If you're on the fence about liking something, you want to go experience it with someone who loves it. I didn't realize how much my boy Mike loved Coheed. Your boy was winding it up and like just getting into it. And my heart was so full like of just joy because I'm like, this is a dude that I love very much. I'm watching him love something that I also love, but he loves the stuff that I wasn't familiar with. So it just kind of like did that whole turtle soup thing where we're like, we read these issues, we don't know about them. At the end of it, when we've been on it here with you guys and everything, we got like bonded, and it was like, and it was really rad, and I loved it. It was fantastic, and it was really cool. Biggest problem. Now I'll tell you this. This works for Chef Special. This is great. Okay, so this is some tech. This isn't quite Merle Haggler, but it's adjacent. So if
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I would like to what did your the submit to the midnight
you want to submit it for the approval of the Merle Haggler Society?
Yes.
Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
You're gonna sprinkle some unspent pennies in the fire and see if you can get it.
That's exactly.
All right.
I just registered what you said. That's fantastic. Yeah, some unspent pennies. All right.
Yeah, so the pennies you wager for.
Yeah.
Just sprinkle them into the fire and see if we can get the Merle Haggler seal of approval here.
Yeah. 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 Well, okay, real quick. I'm gonna run this and then I'll check in with chat. But so the line was super long for merch, and I'm a huge merch dude. I've always loved going to the show and coming home with something. And I think that added to why I hated mall punk a little bit. As I got older, I was like, I get it. You can't always make it to the show, and it's nice it's convenient. I understand. But there still is something like very, like, I don't know, there's something significant about getting something at the show. And it's like you had an adventure and you went home with a souvenir, essentially. So I couldn't see the shirts very well, and the line was way too long. It was raining, and we didn't want to miss Alkaline Trio. So I went up to the side, and I took a picture of everything. And that way, during the band and the downtimes, I could just observe that picture and just take as long as I wanted to try to figure out what shirt I wanted to get. And that's the tech. So if you're on the fence, you don't know what shirt you're wanting to get, you're just wrestling, you got to get that picture out. Take advantage of technology.
That's approved. That's approved.
Okay, excellent.
That's a good deal because you can put the thought in, and the biggest thing it really is just social consciousness. Because at the merch line, man, it sucks when like you've been in a long merch line and you figured it out. Like you talk to your friend or your spouse or partner, and you're like, look, like you get that one, I'll get this one. Like you've been like racking your brain, and then the person right in front of you is scratching scratch offs at the counter, basically.
That's exactly what it feels like.
That is just the worst feeling where you're like, okay, man, you know what I mean? Like, so I approve of that. I approve of that. That's good tech.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because that's what happened. So we watched Coheed, and Shannon had already looked up the set list. So they played I'm horrible with song titles, especially with Coheed song titles, but in Keeping Secrets, like the first track off of Keeping Secrets, that's epic and fantastic to see live. Oh my God, it's 20 years old, but it's still so great. And it's funny because they kind of exaggerate some of the pauses, and Shannon's not as familiar with them, but she knows some of the songs. And I was telling her, I was like, this is still the same song, by the way, just letting you know, this is still the same song. And it was just really funny. But they played a bunch of old songs, and then they what did they close with? I forget what they closed with, but it was an older song that I knew. And so I was like, okay, cool. I saw the songs that I really wanted to see. They were gonna do a peekaboo, you know what I'm talking about, the encore, and
the encore,
yeah. So, but Shannon, my wife, is like all about. Okay, yeah, Jake's confirming it is the Ring and Return in Keeping Secrets. Okay, I wasn't sure. I knew that In Keeping Secrets was probably it. I didn't know if it was. I thought there was something else to it, but it's the Ring and Return. Yeah, she loves talking to people. She loves talking to the artist afterwards, which would have been cool if like we would have been at the Turtles coming out of their Shells tour, because Shannon would have gotten us back there, Ryan. She would have got us to meet those Turtles. Like that's just what she does. And your boy's not that way. Your boy's like, what am I going to say to the Turtles? You know, I can't. What am I going to say to them? thank you. You can count on me. They're like, no, you can count on me. And it's like a whole cycle, but and Preston's wife is the same way. And I think your wife, does Alicia, go and talk to the people? Does she like to do that?
Oh yeah, no. She is really good at it. I'm okay at it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I get starstruck. I don't. But I start like downplaying the moment too much.
Yeah.
Like almost like in time. Like I'm almost like too chill, I think, is my problem. And Alicia is like really good at like keeping things on target.
Yeah.
And like keeping things going. So like when you walk away from like meeting a band, like you realize you talked about a lot. Like mine would be way too chill.
Yeah.
Like my thing, like that I just want to know from bands is like, how's the tour going?
Yeah.
Like I talk to them like they're friends. I'm like, how's the tour going? Like any rough dates? Like y'all tired? Like oh, where are you going next? Like those kind of conversations. Like I just, for some reason, connecting to like the person.
Yeah.
Like the actual just workaday musician part of them is what I really like to do. But I don't ask all those like cool ass questions that I actually want to ask, because I feel like, oh, like that puts me in fan mode. Whereas like hard to explain, but like when you talk more casually, it feels like you're more like, especially because we're musicians, it feels like musician to musician.
It does.
And it feels better to me, I guess.
Yeah.
But like when we met, and they're a super small band, but when we met Charlie Bliss in Atlanta, like Alicia was the reason that we got to talk to them about so much actual topical shit.
Yeah.
Little did I know we'd wound up just hanging out with them and watching Waxahachie anyway.
Oh,
so I got all my chill time in. We spent like 2 hours with them just hanging out. So that was fun. But like I'm not that guy though.
And I'm not gonna hate, because when we went and saw Modest Mouse, Father Preston and Shannon and I, we walked like a couple of blocks down the road and found their bus, and he was out there, Isaac Brock. And oh my god, I think I told the story on the show. It was hilarious, and I was so glad we did it.
Yeah, it was good.
But she has to convince me to go do it. But anyway, so we went. We couldn't find Skiba and stuff, but I went and got my shirt, and it was cool. But I did my thing. But you were right. I was in line, and there was a dude like trying to get to look at every shirt and stuff, which I understand to a degree. But at the same time, I don't know. Anyway, so it was a whole thing, but it was great. And real quick, checking in with chat. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so Jake Niehaus is saying, okay, you're selling me on this tour. It comes my way next month, and I haven't seen Coheed since Good Apollo. Oh, dang. So I think I mentioned this on the post I made about it, but I saw them open for Thursday and Thrice, for Artist in the Ambulance and War All the Time for Thursday. And they were, and In Keeping Secrets had just come out, and they were opening for them at Janus Landing here in St. Petersburg. And it was insanely good, and just, it's wild seeing a band open for somebody at Janus, and then you're seeing them play at one of the biggest venues in the state. Like, that's 20 years later. That's wild. But yeah, Jake, if you like either of those bands, Alkaline Trio or Coheed, I enjoyed it. It was expensive, but you got to pay money for some things, I guess. However, I don't know. I still had a good time. But let's see here. He said that that's when he fell off Coheed, which I'm thinking he's talking about the same time when the Black Rainbow record came out or something like that. Yeah, I think that was after Good Apollo. And so M's talking about how he's not gonna yuck anyone's yum. So I appreciate that. But yeah, and then Jake confirms that if I had gone with Shannon to the Turtles coming out of their shell thing, I would have come home with a bedazzled jacket.
Oh, you would have, yeah. And the wristbands and the headband.
Oh, all day.
And a one-string bass.
Otherwise
known as the church bass.
The church bass. Oh, of course. Yeah. And then Im's talking about how he got to chill with Hank Shook Lee for a day. Talked about drum machines at the powwow. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Hank Shockley. He worked with the Bomb Squad and Public Enemy.
Oh, okay.
Super sweet.
Well, that's awesome. Told me his favorite track was of all time, ranked by importance to the culture, was Ghetto Boys. Mine's Playing Tricks on Me. I think that Shannon really likes that, the Ghetto Boys and a lot of old school hip hop stuff like that. and so I've heard that, but that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, especially with drum machines. Like if you could talk drum machines to people, like yeah, that's a whole other thing. Like you go to see somebody and like you could talk their equipment and their gear. Generally, they like to talk about stuff like that, especially musicians because they're musicians. So yeah, and
you wanna hear about Bobby Graves?
Yes, now I do. I want to hear about Bobby Graves. Tell me about Bobby Graves.
Are you good?
I'm good. I was trying to be funny and it didn't work, so that I gave up on it. And yeah, that's okay. But I want to hear about Bobby Graves.
So this story's super quick. So back when I had my punk band and we were in the Brandon punk scene, we had this guy Bob Surin who ran this record store called Sound Idea where we played all of our shows, and he was like, he was the center of everything. Like I mean, it's just hard to downplay him. He is still amazing.
He's
like he just does so much good shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, we used to get acts that came through, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like ones that were like we get bands from like Austria and like all these bands would come through and like they do some like Florida dates and mainly like play around our area. And it was and then they were in the record shop and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So Bobby Graves, who was in the Misfits, like had his own solo act, and they came through, and I remember like he was in the record store.
Are you talking about Michael Graves or the singer? Was it the
no?
singer?
It was.
Is this a different dude?
Hold on.
Because Michael Graves took over for what's his face? Why can't I think of his name? Goodness, the original singer. But he's the one that came.
Yeah, for Danzig.
Yeah, for Danzig. Yeah. So I think that's Michael Graves.
I think it was Michael Graves. The reason I want to say for whatever reason we talked about I think the band was called Bobby Graves or something. I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
Okay.
So but I think it was Mike. So what happened was we were like he was in the record store and he was just kind of weird. Like he seemed like really like kind of pretentious. Like I want to kind of say all this saying that like I was dead ass 17.
Yeah.
So I could have been the prick to be 100. Like I could have been the one that's like, no, he's been around and he's cool, and I'm expecting something, I guess, more personable out of him or something. But for a reason, so we went to their show. They played Brass Mug.
Yeah.
And went to the show and stuff. And a couple other Sound Idea bands opened, which was I really wanted to open for them, but like just didn't work out. So anyway, so I'm there at the show, and he gets off stage, and for some reason I had this impulse where he is the least high five kind of guy you'd ever imagine. Like just everything about like he had the skeleton makeup on and the Misfits hair, and he was just like the guy you knew didn't want to give you a high five. So he gets off the stage, and I walk by him, and I go, "Bro, badass show, high five!" I put this high five up. Well, he instinctually high fives me. Like I take full advantage of like just the like cultural thing of like you gotta high five someone.
It's like
so he has this smile on his he has a smile on his face and he high fives me, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, I got Graves to high five me, right?
Yeah.
He had this reaction afterwards that was completely like transparent, like I didn't want to do that. That was stupid.
Yeah.
And like and a little bit annoyed that it happened.
Yeah.
And I was just completely satisfied.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I was like, not only did I get to high five a Misfit,
right?
Like a Misfit, but I also got to make him high five me, and he afterwards seemed like he really didn't want to do that.
Yeah. I like to think that maybe what it was that he's done that before, and then like, I forget all the rest of their names, but the rest of the Misfits are like, hey man, don't do that anymore. Like we might have to get on to, and like they're gonna be like, oh, they caught me. Oh, they got me again. They like he thinks that you were a plant from like they were like, hey, we're trying to get him out of the band, but we got to give reason. So we told him like, don't do any more high fives because he's been doing it a lot. It's out of character. Like that could have been a whole situation. You never know. But I love it. I'm glad that pleased you well. But yeah, I appreciate his two records, although I think a lot of his opinions are diametrically opposed to ours now, but I do like the records.
No,
but I do appreciate.
Later on, realized that that was an issue.
Yeah.
Because I guess he could. I want to say he could be brought up for like Proud Boys stuff. Apparently, and connected to like January 6th.
Yeah. It's a little bad, but nevertheless, I like those records that he did with the Misfits. I think those were fun, but yeah. So
wait a minute. I gotta back up. I have to clear this. I have to clear this record. It was Bobby Steele from the Misfits.
Oh, okay.
Their second guitarist.
Oh.
He was touring under the name Bobby Graves. That was the name of the band.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And later, it was that band became I think they're just called the Undead.
Yeah.
Like after that.
Oh, okay.
So it was Bobby Steele.
Okay.
Like that's who it was. It was not Michael Graves because he was an ex original Misfit.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole.
That was the whole
point
thing.
of like when he showed up, I was like, holy shit, it's an actual Misfit.
Right.
And then it was like, oh wait, he's really like snobby. And once again, with a caveat that I could have been snobby.
Oh, absolutely.
He could have been fine.
Yeah.
Like I had to. I don't want to like speak bad on the man's name. And I don't think he's and it's Michael Graves who's the Proud Boy now. So we're good.
That's true. That's true. So, real quick, checking in with chat. Let's see here. M's rubbing it in my face again about Joy Electric. Thank you, M.
Okay, sounds good.
Then Jake's talking about, so my wife and I are going to Red Rocks in Denver for 2 nights of Nine Inch Nails, which that sentence is an interesting sentence. And so they've been bringing fans backstage who are on their Discord. Oh, that's awesome. And hoping to meet Trent Reznor if I can. And then M says that Reznor owes me $50 for cappuccinos and pastry. God, M, you need to start writing books. You need to. I need to know all.
Yeah.
I need to know all these stories, M. Just write a book. I'll pay for it. We'll do an unboxing on the show. We'll do the whole thing. We need to get this going because it's just endlessly fascinating. And so my wife Shannon confirms that Nine Inch Nails are so good live. That's pretty good. So well
man, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's about time to call it. It's almost 10.
But, I think it's about time we get out of here. I gotta do Kingdom work in the morning, but
Whew.
But yeah, well, guys, again, sorry that we couldn't get the show going with the tech issues last few weeks. But yeah, this will be the what do we call it? The chef special for the month. So we should
the July
we should be good to go with everything going forward, and we'll look into it and see what we can figure out to make sure it doesn't happen again. But thank y'all so much for being here. This has been a blast, and I really enjoyed this as always. And so, let us know if you like these Saturday shows. Who knows? Maybe we might switch it up again, or maybe we might do every other. Basically we're here for y'all. So y'all let us know what works for y'all, and we'll see if we can make it work for us. And then if that's the case, then we'll see what we can do. But that's what it's about, being the chefs in the kitchen. It's our kitchen. We can make what we want. And so, hopefully next actual Thursday. Cause so real quick, a little bit behind the curtain. So, before we go, as you know, my house has been in transit cause we've been trying to move. So we got the carpet, we ordered the carpet, and it's coming next Friday. So my studio's set up currently in the living room as opposed to my back office and all this stuff. So I was and I bring this up because I don't remember if I told you, Ryan, if we were going to do it next Saturday as well. But I think we're actually going to try to shoot for doing it still Thursday night, and then that way I don't have to tear it down and build it back up. I can just tear it down or do the show Thursday, and then not have to worry about it for another week instead of doing it. Yeah. So just said all that to say that I don't know why I brought all that up, but nevertheless, we're going to be back next week, and hopefully in full prime, fashion and status, and hopefully be able to get this off without any problems. But
yeah, I got I guess less than a week to figure out why my computer is being the worst.
Yeah. So hopefully it's just some that's just so weird that it just shut down. But yeah, hopefully it's some updates or something simple, but I don't know. But what I do know is that next week, And actually, officially, we are in the second volume 2 of TMNT Urban Legends. If you're following along physically with what we've got, which we have the actual physical book. Which, if you can get these things, you should, because they're really good. And we've had a few people write to us talking about how they've really enjoyed our reviews of the Image Run because it got them into like they ignored it and then brought it back. I think Brian Bales in the group was talking about it, how he was saying that now I'm reading them and stuff and loving it, and that's really awesome. We're really glad because we are too. And
as a run, like it's really worth your time. It's been fantastic to review.
It's not perfect, but it's real. But what's good is really good there. So that's a lot of fun. But we will be doing issue number 14. And hopefully, unless any other news comes up, we're still going to talk about the Stranger Things stuff because I've got some stuff to say about it, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think you do too. So
get all your Stranger Things ex TMNT takes ready. For the news on Thursday because it'll still be news to us.
It will.
I guess.
So yeah, well, let's see here. Let me make sure everything else is set. I think we're good. So yeah. Well, guys, again, thank you so much for being here, and we will hopefully see you next Thursday. And if not, just follow us on Instagram, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores between each word, and join us on Facebook, the Turtle Soup group. That's where we'll post everything and let everybody know what's going on and if we're having any delays. And you can post things.
Absolutely.
Also, if you have any questions or concerns, comments, any of that, email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. And also, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends if they're interested in this kind of stuff. We really appreciate all the help and support. And again, thank you to all our patrons who help to make all this stuff work and that might have to help us make Brian's computer work. Who knows? So we'll see how that goes. But all right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here, and we will catch you on the Prime side. So
all right,
time.
Peace. Next time.